Okay, welcome to this week's weekly watch list. I've got quite a few pairs to go through. Well, not quite a few, just the main ones. But there's pretty much a trade on all of them that we can look to take this week, or just look to watch if you don't want to trade them yet. So I'll start on Euro USD. And this was a trade that I sent through last week, and it's something I'm currently in. So this was a setup. Looking for a high time frame tap into this daily supply zone, and then on the 4-hour there was a strong imbalance with a little supply zone above there, so I entered off there, but I didn't place my stop loss above there because that could have been swept by liquidity. I've seen it happen before, and so I put my stop loss just above here. That was for me a safe high to place my stop loss as, so that's what I did. Entry there, stop loss above there. It did push up quite through for our zone, so luckily, well, not luckily, but smart, we didn't place our stop loss there, and I placed my stop loss up here instead. Almost took it out, but respected it, which is a good sign. And now it's been pushing down. So you get this clear liquidity sweep pattern where you get imbalance to the upside, imbalance to the downside. So I'm thinking that it's going to maybe have a pullback and then continue down. And I changed my target from this low to this demand zone. And I'll send that through to the chat as well. But just because, we respected this daily demand zone, price had a change of character, we had bearish market structure on the 4-hour, then bullish. There was a lot of imbalance here. So for me, this is a high probability place to target. I'm happy with a 1 to 3 rather than taking a more risk for a 1 to 4.6. So that's why I've gone there. And also a demand zone similar to GBP USD, I think price will react from, and they kind of move together, Euro USD and GBP USD. So you can always look at different pairs to change your targets, but that's what I'm looking at on Euro USD. If you haven't got in, something I saw, maybe there could be a retracement all the way up here and get a confirmation entry in there with some liquidity inducement of that high. So that's something you could look for, but I'm already in, so I'm not going to be doing that. Then we'll go to AUD USD, start on the weekly as always. And what you can see here, I've still got this marked up, just left it from that. This is a weekly supply zone. I think this is a daily supply zone. We can have a look in a minute, but that's kind of where I'm targeting. I mean, targeting short term, there's some liquidity above here. The price could target, price could be going up there. And what I see is that we have this strong push down and push up, and prices come back into it, come into this demand zone. You can mark it up if you want, but it's been a while now. The price came in there, and now started to push up with like some indecision here with these low wicks on either side. But now we've got clear momentum to the upside, so strong bullish candles, little pullback, and then strong bullish candles, and we respected this the last bit of imbalance on the weekly time frame before continuing up. So my bias here is bullish. There's not really anything here that I think could cause a reversal, but obviously always look out for that. Then on the daily time frame, you can see when we tapped into this weekly demand zone, we had a first strong push up and then another daily demand zone on the lower time frame the price tapped into that I didn't get an entry from because it didn't fit my confirmation rules, but we pushed up. The only thing that is a bit worrying to see is that we didn't have a strong pullback here. That could just be that price is wanting to continue up, and there wasn't really any liquidity. There wasn't any orders from the institutions or whatever to enter from this area, so they didn't need to pull price back and then continue up. So it's not necessarily going to have a huge pullback before going up. It could just continue up, and that's what I'm looking for until something shows me otherwise. So I'm now looking at this daily demand zone, which I refined to the 4-hour. But what you can see, you can, if I just get rid of all of this, there is this daily demand zone as well that has been respected. And this is kind of what I just look for. Just look for order blocks and like demand zones, supply zones like this, see if price has respected it. And if it has, that's a good sign that we're bullish. Then you can look for another entry from another demand zone. In this case here, last bearish candle before a huge push up, a lot of imbalance left above it, expecting price to pull back and then continue up. But I'm not going to enter from the daily time frame because the risk reward isn't going to be as good, and you can always get some more refined entries. So even though this is the last push down that swept liquidity before the push up, I'm going to look to enter more refined just from the candle before the imbalance. So in this area here, basically when this candle closed, all the buying power entered, strong push up here. And so I'd expect to pull back to the start of this buying power before continuing up. But I'll still place my stop loss below the low, probably below there, just to be safe. And you can also see extra confirmation that there was this 4-hour demand zone that got respected. So we tapped into a daily demand zone, price pushed up, and we had a change of character. Price came back into the 4-hour demand zone, and then continue it up. So that's something you can use just over and over again. Look for a zone on one time frame and then go to the lower time frame. It's pretty much simple SMC trading, and it's what I use, and it works as long as you have your higher time frame bias and you actually kind of know what's going on in the market. Just from technical, not fundamental. Just have an idea of where price could be going and have a reason for it. If you have a reason, like a story behind your ideas, then it just gives you more confidence. Even if you're wrong, it will just give you more confidence, and that's enough to improve your trading. Even if you're not getting it right every time, just being confident is going to improve your trading. So this is what I've sent through, I'm pretty sure. Entry on there, stop loss below there, and I will target the high, wherever the high is before the pullback. So currently 1 to 3. If we have a pullback now, it could just continue up, but we'll see. And I can just mark up the previous week high and low as well. It's already swept the high, but that's not too much of an issue because I'm still confident that we're going bullish. So it could just take out the high, come back, and then continue even higher. So that's currently what I'm looking for this week, and we'll see what happens. But then we can go to GBP USD and something similar. Get rid of all of that. It's the same kind of thing here. So we tapped into this weekly demand zone. We also tapped into this supply zone, weekly supply zone. So price pushed down into a demand zone, and now it's kind of trading between them. So which way is it going to go? You can't really tell. It could come back into a daily supply zone, over here, and then continue lower, or it could fully respect this demand zone and continue up, break above there, and just continue up. Which is, for me, we don't really need to look at that too much. We can just look at what's happening recently, and what's happened recently is we tapped into this demand zone, and now price has been pushing up. Same as AUD USD, same as probably all the pairs ending in USD. We had strong push up, pull back, strong push up, pull back, strong push up. Maybe we're going to get a deeper pullback to this weekly demand zone, but we'll go to the lower time frame and see what's actually happening and what could happen in the coming week. So on the daily, what I see is, so we had a nice pullback there. Again, no deep pullback here, which would have been nice, coming back to somewhere bigger retracement than what we had from that push up and pullback. But then we had a nice push up and a respectable pullback here to a daily demand zone. So this bearish candle before the push up, you got push up, consolidation, push up. So a lot of buy orders were originating in this area, and then price pulled back to it and took up again, breaking structure over here. So for me, I'm bullish. There's not really anything over here that could give a reversal, and maybe some liquidity there that price could be targeting. So bullish bias on GBP USD, going down to the 4 hour. You see, like I had marked up before I deleted it, this is a daily demand zone, and then a nice 4 hour demand zone here that we can look to enter from, and it swept liquidity just over here. It swept this low here nicely and then pushed up, but it also swept this low just a bit. It won't always be a huge sweep. Obviously, huge sweeps are going to be high probability, but just any liquidity sweep really is good enough. And you can see the strong push up shows that this is probably not a move that's just trying to sweep liquidity and then go down and take out everything. For me, this is going to be respected. There's a high probability that it will, then it won't. So that's where I'm going to look to get in from. And you see liquidity was swept over here as well in this daily demand zone. So nice wick there that took out these lows. So again, I'll just enter from the start of that bearish candle, stop loss below, and then target wherever we get up to. This is a nicer trade, 1 to 5. But if it pays out, that'll be very nice end to the year, maybe. But that's GBP USD. If you have any questions about anything, then just leave me a comment or send a message on Discord. I can answer them. Then USD CAD. This one I'm a bit more unsure about, but I still marked it up. So on the weekly time frame, we had a sweep of this high, strong swing high there. Price pushed up, just closed above it, and then started going down. And the reason I am bearish is partly that, and partly because this demand zone has been disrespected. So a weekly demand zone getting disrespected for me shows that there's strong bearish momentum, and so that could continue. That's my idea, that it will continue until maybe this demand zone over here that we'll get to in a lower time frame. But there is still, this strong bullish bias from respecting this weekly demand zone and then maybe this daily demand zone. But for me, yeah, this weekly demand zone has been disrespected, closed below it, so I'm looking for a pullback and then continue down, which we'll get to on the daily time frame. So there's the daily demand zone I was talking about. Nice Wyckoff, push up, sweep liquidity, and then push up, and there's this demand zone. So you could just enter from this daily demand zone if you wanted to trade higher time frame and enter there, take profit there, but that would be proper swing trading, which I'd rather not do. I'd like to stick to the 4 hour time frame, and so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah, you can see strong bullish market structure, and then we get a change and it starts to go bearish, so that's what I'm going to be looking for. There's no imbalance up here, it's all been respected, so efficient price action. So the next point that I'd be looking for is the next imbalance, which is this area here, and you get this supply zone. So mark that up and then try and look for a lower time frame confirmation. Again, you could just trade from the daily time frame if you wanted to, but I'll go for the 4 hour, and it's pretty much the same anyway. This area here is like the liquidity sweep. You swept liquidity here, but not up here, which is why I'm a bit concerned about the area, because there is these kind of equal highs. But for me, there's strong selling momentum, and so it's worth the risk. That's what trading is. You've got to look at the risk, look at the reward, and see if the probability that you expect the trade to win is worth it. And for me, it is. Yes, there's a higher probability than the other trades that this high will get swept. The risk reward for me makes up for it, and it makes it a worthwhile trade, because that's what you got to do. Just manage the risk and reward, and do everything that you're comfortable with. So you don't have to take this trade if you don't want to. You can always just watch. It's 1 to 2.9, and that's something I'm going to be looking for. I'll just go mark up weekly highs and lows. I haven't been doing this, but you don't need to do this. I just do it sometimes because I think it will help you see the range that we're trading in and what we're kind of targeting. But when you become more advanced, you don't always need it. You can kind of just see where we've been going and where our target could be. So this is another trade I'm looking at on USD CAD. So currently we've got limits set on AUD USD, Euro USD, no, AUD USD, GBP USD, and USD CAD, and we're in the Euro USD trade, or at least I am. And USD CHF, there isn't really anything to look at for me. I was hoping for this strong pullback, but we just had a strong push down. They're still in balance up here, so I wouldn't be looking to get anything in here because price could just continue up. And we're also at this low. We could be reacting off a demand zone in here and going up. So you can see we've got this demand zone here, or maybe I could look for longs actually, rather than keeping my short bias. There is this daily demand zone that we've tapped into. So, and we swept liquidity. There's inducement above the zone, price tapped into it, and we could see price going up. So I'll look for some confirmation here. If you see anything, let me know. And if I see anything, I'll let you know. Basically just looking for a nice confirmation that like a 4 hour demand zone that we could enter from and then target going up, target there, target here, target wherever. I'll have a look even when that happens. So that's what I'm looking at on USD CHF, and those are the trades I am trading. I'll have a look at gold as well. This is something that I don't trade, but I'll just have a look at it just in case you do. The main thing I was still hoping for is pull back to this demand zone, or at the very least just the imbalance, so something like that. Whether or not that will happen, I'm not sure. And we have swept liquidity over there with a strong wick to the upside, so we could be turning bearish towards this zone and respect it, or we could just turn bearish and continue down. That's the joy of trading. You never really know which way it's going to go. But another thing then, just on a short time frame, is that we get this demand zone. You're always looking in hindsight just for zones that are being respected, really. That's what I do. You can't always predict which zones are going to get respected, but once they have been respected, it gives you confirmation to then trade on the lower time frame in that direction. So we can see here that price has respected a daily demand zone, so it's more likely than not that it's going to respect another one. And then another one you see is here. And going down to the 4 hour, you can refine it to the start of the imbalance, which won't always work. Sometimes price will just come down, respect just the original daily order block, which could miss out on this entry and then continue up. But for me, sometimes it's worth getting that extra refinement. So this is a possible trade. It's not something I'm going to take, but it is something I will mark up and just watch to see if I can start trading gold in the future. It'd be a nice 1 to 4.4 trade. So that's something I'll watch in the future. And this is, if you're trading gold, let me know what your view is. We could also look for sell opportunities in this huge liquidity graph. That's what I'm going to be looking for. So yeah, hopefully this has been helpful. And if you want any other pairs looked at, just let me know and I can send through my analysis. And if you have any feedback for how I can improve these watch lists, then also let me know. And yeah, have a good trading week. And if you have any questions, whenever, just send them through in the Discord and I will answer them as soon as I can.